Good morning, Grace Covenant. Happy Thursday. It's Thursday, March 9th. It's cold this morning, but yet there are all these signs of spring. I see the little buds on things. I see things blooming like the forsythia. And I know there's cold coming this weekend, so I just feel sort of protective of all the things that have already started blooming. And yet I know there's, a deep wisdom in the rhythms of the earth and seasons that we don't really totally understand. That sometimes, that kind of late freeze or late frost actually helps the health of plants and the ecosystems. And so in that way, I try to trust, even though there's sadness in that. Today, there's so much going on at Grace Covenant that is just wonderful, and great opportunities for learning and building community and doing the collective work of healing, and just feeding the movement that we're a part of at Grace Covenant of transformation around the harm that mentalities of supremacy do to us, to our bodies. I'm down here with my horses and with Huckleberry. The sun is very bright. They're the horses, they want their feed. But I'm going to talk to y'all for just a minute before I get to that. So one of the things happening today is Faith for Justice. This will be the first time we've had a face-to-face Faith for Justice meeting since COVID. So it will be... there's some things about that are welcome, just the shift of being together in the same room. And then there's some things about it that, may not make it as accessible for some, or may not make it as, doable for some people. So, but I'm welcoming that shift and just seeing kind of how it feels and where it takes us. The other thing that's happening today is the beginning of our 4-week class on process theology. Process theology has been deeply formative for me as a theologian, as a believer, as just a human, as somebody who lives in a body. And one of the things that's most important to me about, probably the most important thing to me about process theology is the room that it makes for just how primary the body is. Because the body was really sidelined in Western theology and Western philosophy. The body has been mistrusted, distrusted, discounted. And we still live with all of that today. The body has been despised in many ways in Western culture. And so one of the things we're talking about tonight at the class is how process theology disrupts some of those mentalities that sideline the body, and creates the conditions for our bodies to really speak to us and really be central to the way we understand ourselves, the way we understand the fact that we are never independent of the rest of reality. We are radically interdependent. So as I sit outside this morning and feel the temperature, hear the birds, watch my horses wake up and begin to respond to the fact that I'm down here, see the sun moving over the horizon, anticipate the different kinds of engagement and different kinds of experience that my body will will be processing today. Much of it, most of it will not be something I'm ever conscious of, but yet it will deeply impact me and the way my body functions and the way I'm able to be in relationship in healthy ways. And so I'm just especially holding tender that we have been formed in a culture that really has estranged us from ourselves, from the way God made us, from the way we're made, for zest, for deep connection, for really making space for our bodies to thrive, and how poorly we've done at that. So I hold all of us tenderly in that space that we live in every day, that kind of tosses us around and doesn't really encourage us to slow down and be attentive to the wisdom and to the capacity, the spiritual capacity of our bodies. So today, may you have some spaciousness. If you don't find it readily, I pray you can make it, that you can carve it out for yourself. Some space to breathe, some space to honor the complexity and beauty and wonder of your embodied, created nature, and the gift that it is to you, yes, but to us, to the world. So may today be a day that we really embrace the gifts of how we're made. We're fearfully and wonderfully made, as Scripture says. Love to you, Grace Covenant.